press and record. And we're going to let Angela speak first. And then we might stop for questions, or we might go straight to Steve, but we'll definitely have questions at the end. And there'll be no need to raise a hand or anything. We're in a workshop, so when we get those questions at the end, just unmute yourselves and ask those questions as we go. So I don't want to take up any more time, so I'll go straight over to Angela, and I'll let Angela introduce herself.
Right, we're just getting it set up.
It's great. And Angela's done a great job here. We had a little technical problem before, but fortunately we've sorted all of that out.
Here we go. That's it.
There we go. Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. That's lovely. Right. So I'm Angela Todd, and I'm the Careers Employability Coordinator at SRPA. Careers learning doesn't stand alone, nor is it a bolt-on activity within our academy. It's an element of our personal development programme. So our personal development programme forms a huge part of our curriculum. The aim of the programme is for students to develop the qualities and attributes they need to thrive as individuals, family members and members of society. So our personal development programme has core aims that are to develop students physically, emotionally and socially, develop essential employability skills for the 21st century, reduce or remove barriers to learning, and to promote our British values, so that include democracy, equality and diversity, tolerance and understanding, and to prepare students to become an active member of society. So there's 4 key elements to our personal development programme. So the first one is the tutor programme. So for our Key Stage 3 and 4 students, it consists of a ready to learn and a house assemblies delivered during registration and personal development lessons. So in Ready to Learn, students are prepared for the week ahead by reflecting and evaluating their own performance. So looking at their attendance, engagement in lessons, and most sort of importantly for them, the number of house points that they achieved the previous week. So this allows students to set short-term targets for improvement and potentially contribute to longer-term goals. So students also take part in a wider reading activities based around the focus of the week, with assemblies linked to the focus. And the foci are linked to calendar events such as National Apprenticeship Week or National Careers Week, that sort of thing. Our Key Stage 5 students follow VESPA, so that's a programme looking at vision, effort, systems, practice and attitude. And the programme is about raising awareness about the impact of a quality or characteristic and how it can have an impact on your potential success. And it encourages the reflection of the strength of that quality and engages the student in tasks to develop as a learner. So the personal development lessons are delivered weekly in Key Stage 3 and fortnightly in Key Stage 4 and 5 by their Ready to Learn tutor. The lessons have a termly theme and cover living in the wider world, which includes careers, relationships and health and well-being. And the following slides for the careers learning for the next half term when we come back after October break. So our Year 7s will be looking at developing skills and aspirations, so looking at skills for work, communicating, problem solving, that sort of thing, and they'll celebrate their learning with a review of the week. So the community and careers for Year 8, so they're looking at discrimination in the workplace, equal pay, voluntary work, barriers to achieving their goals and how to raise their career aspirations. The Year 9 is setting goals, so we're looking at career management with them, so making decisions around the goals, setting and developing skills to help them support their GCSE option choices. In Year 10, we're looking at financial decision making, so how to make those budgets, dangers of online gambling and debt that they can incur, and also sort of sharing their data and targeted advertising, making sure they don't get sucked into something they shouldn't be. And then obviously with Year 11, we're now looking at getting them workplace ready. So health and safety, positive online profiles, looking at LinkedIn, and then making those CV and personal statements. Our sixth form learning is still under construction at the moment, getting ready for next half term. So I can't show you what their programme is going to look like, but at the moment it's going to include next steps, social media, LinkedIn, employment, work-life balance, rights and responsibilities, that sort of thing. During the lockdown, our tutor programme was continued to be delivered virtually, and the interactions of the students was monitored by staff. So work was set on our school website and also using the Unifrog platform. So the second element of the programme is our personal development days. We're actually on one. It's the first one of this academic year today. So we've got the RAF in and working with our Key Stage 4 on employability skills. We've also got a Link Governor coming in to take part in the day later on, and she's going to be one of the judges for the Snap Bar Idle workshop. So the entire day, each half term, dedicated to students' personal development, and all of the students from years 7 through to 13 are off timetable, and they've all got their own year group set of sessions. So they're focused around the PD core aims. When we're actually planning, activities are colour-coded based on British values, careers, PSH, EE and citizenship. And we've got a planning wall in one of the offices so the staff can see and check out how the planning is coming prior to the day. That's a closer look at the session. So Snap Bar Idle is where our year 7s work with local employers to develop their own business. The entire year 8 cohort will go to the National Construction Week at the showground, and the Army and the RAF come in and work with the Key Stage 4 students on their team building skills, initiative and communication. So this is a photograph from last year's National Construction Week. Students were invited to do some block paving, and they've actually made a path for the showground, and that is down there. It's got their letter initials in, and it will stay, so that's nice. And we actually share that on the website for parents and everybody to see. So the third element of the programme is our careers education and work related learning. So the Academy delivers a high quality CEIAG across year 7. We actually start in 7, not 8, through to year 13. So the programme holds the Quality Increased Standard Career Mark Platinum Award, and we follow the CDI framework that supports the 8 Gatsby benchmarks. So learning is structured around their 3 core aims of self-development, career exploration and career management. We do entitlements for each year group, and we've put them on the school website so that people can see them, and they're updated annually following evaluation of the programme. So the careers learning is also complemented by access to timely, impartial, independent careers information and advice and guidance. So we're buying the services of a level 6 guidance practitioner to deliver interviews to the students from year 9 upwards to meet the Gatsby benchmark. 8, we have a dedicated careers hub that offers meeting facilities, information library. Students come down and we support them with applications to colleges or apprenticeship vacancies, that sort of thing. We give them advice and guidance, and we've got planning walls for the mapping and delivery of our Gatsby benchmarks and the university programme. So it provides a visual display to update staff and the governors. You can actually see a little bit of the Gatsby benchmark on one of the photographs. So with the support of a range of universities, including Lincoln, Nottingham, Loughborough, York St John's, Sheffield Hallam and BGU, we've put together a university programme that involves all our students from year 7 to 13. So to help raise the aspirations and show our students that university is available to all. So students get to visit the university, they hear about life as a student, they attend presentations in the lecture hall, taster days and other activities, all delivered by the university staff and student ambassadors. So this programme has had to be adapted for this academic year, and at the moment is being delivered virtually. So our year 7s this morning have done some work with the University of Lincoln about why go to uni and look at a virtual tour. The year 11s have been working with York St John's about student life, and the BGU have been looking about what it is to be a student. So Freshers Week, how to choose the right accommodation, how to mix into the different faculties and different debating societies and all that sort of thing. So they've learned what it's like to first go to university and go from there. So we map our university interactions against the Gatsby benchmarks. And that's the sort of spreadsheet that we produce that the head takes to governors, and he works on just to make sure that we're doing what he wants us to do. So not every student will want to go and follow an academic pathway post-16. So we, very much like the uni programme, we put together an employer encounter programme with the support of local employers. That provides labour market information, allows students to hear about the life of an apprentice, workshops that develop employability skills. And we also do work-wise days. So we ask the employers to come in and deliver a practical activity that's linked to their area of employment. Students decide who they would like to see, and then we get the employer in. So we get a wide range depending on each year group. It can vary each year as to who comes in. So due to COVID restrictions, we're currently using the Unifrog library and their videos to support this type of delivery. And I've also asked employers to provide us with short videos so that we can show those to the students. So for the likes of the Pathways Marketplace, I've had Rise Home this morning, Lincoln Uni, UTC, Lincoln City Football Club and Dino's Pro Soccer. They've all sent me videos in that we can play to the students about the pathways they offer. So it's challenging times and we're just trying to adapt as we go along. So these are a selection of some of the employers that have been in over the last year or so and worked with our students. So we've got the Fire Brigade. They came in for Careers Fair and they let the students put on their equipment. We've got some of the students at the showground at the Construction Week doing joinery. We've got the back view of our judging panel when we did Snap Bar Idol. So they were looking and listening to the students there. And then we've got 3 workshops from Workwise Day, which are what it's like to be a personal trainer, animal care, and obviously the RF, and then also some of their team working skills as well. So our work experience programme, it moved from year 11 to year 12 several years ago. We evaluated it and found that students were getting a more meaningful experience when it was delivered with an older cohort. So because of this move, any educational trips now in Key Stage 3 and 4 have to include an experience of the workplace. So a member of the company they're visiting talks about their company and their job role within it, and they help support us with Gatsby Benchmark 6. The Year 12 Work Experience Programme starts with a parent-student information evening, and the Year 13 students share their experiences of when they were on placement the previous year. It also includes a health and safety seminar with Lincoln Co-op's safety officer, and then we do a briefing students and hand them their record books prior to going out on placement. They debrief when they come back, and we have a welcome back assembly, and they get the chance to share their experiences with their peers so they can hear about the different types of companies that are out there. And while they're on placement, they're visited by a member of staff. So we take the record books in, they get accredited, and students get awarded with a certificate at standard, merit or distinction level, and that's dependent on the quality of the record book. And then we invite a local employer in to present with the students with their certificates. Students that have gone out on placement receive nominations following staff visits on the skills they displayed on work placement, and we select finalists to attend our work-based learning awards evening. So these are 3 of the students that were out last year. We managed to get out just before lockdown in February. So we had 1 at Salinity, 1 at the Museum of Lincolnshire Life, and 1 at Bupa Dental Care. So careers weaves into everything we do, and our subject areas now include careers in their scheme of work. So each subject area has a member of the department who has taken on the role of personal development champion that starts the links to Gatsby Benchmark 4. So the PD champions actively engage with the employers to form links to their subjects and are responsible for career displays in their area and provide material to all their department members to link a subject content to a possible career. And we're just recruiting students at the moment to the role of subject champions, and they will provide student voice and mentoring of younger students in that subject department, and they'll work with the PD champions to develop their department. So to engage all the stakeholders, we involve the parents in our personal development programme. So they get a termly newsletter about what's been going on in careers and personal development. We send out Sims in Touch messages following a personal development day's activities, and we ask them if they can have a conversation with their child, find out what's been going on, what they thought to it, and then if they would feed back to us to see what they made of it as a parent. We've just had a Stay Safe day for the Year 7, and students went home, spoke to the parents, and 2 parents come back and said, absolutely brilliant. It's opened our eyes to what we need to be doing. It certainly brought her home bubbling. She never talks about her work at school. Can we please have some more of these days? So, you know, it's nice to hear that sort of feedback. So our work-based learning awards evening, the nominated students, we pick out 3 finalists, and then we're looking at sort of excellent employability skills that they've been identified during the personal development day activities. 3 finalists are chosen, and then they are invited to attend the Work-Based Learning Awards evening, and it's sponsored by several local employers, and we provide a 2-course meal. So the finalists attend with 2 guests of their choice. Usually it's mum and dad, and employers are invited to present the awards. We get a keynote speaker in to talk about the importance of employability skills and how they developed their skills over the years. Last December, our keynote speaker was the bobsleigh bronze medal winner from the Sochi Olympics, and prior to that, we've had Danny Cowley from the ex-Lincoln City manager. The winners receive a glass trophy and certificate, and the runners-up get a frame certificate, so nobody leaves the awards evening empty-handed. As you can see from the photo, John Ambrose attended last year and presented awards for us, so he did awards to student and also presented our Career Mark Award. And Janet and John have also attended as well. And just going back to the parents' feedback, as well as we're taking feedback from the Work-Based Learning Awards, we also invite the students, into family learning evenings and information evenings. So we ask them where they think their knowledge is lacking, and then we lay on these information evenings to help develop them so they can support their child going forward. And the final element of our programme is the enrichment. So we're particularly proud of the enrichment provision we have, and the variety of opportunities students have are really wide ranging, and the idea is they support with character building. So there's some of the enrichment activities that have taken place. Now, all around the academy, we have inspiration walls, levers boards, personal development day activity photographs, and all this prompts and promotes our PD programme to everybody in the academy and any visitors as well. So that's it. That's a bit of a whistle-stop tour of how we implement the careers learning as an element of our PD programme.
Angela, thank you very much indeed for that. Now, I know we're short on time, but I would encourage, if you have a look towards the bottom of your screen, you'll see a reactions box there. And if you just want to click the clapping hands, we'll give a big clap to Angela for that. That was really great. Thank you very much. But I know with time we want to get through Steve as well. So I'm going to put out now. And Steve, over to yourself. I think, yeah, that's it. You're unmuted.
Brilliant. Right, I'm going to try and share my screen now. It's worked brilliantly twice, and now I'm having trouble.
That's okay, Steve. You take your time. I've got it loaded there.
I think I'm there. Am I there? Yes. Oh, brilliant. I am there. Great. Okay, so Angela has gone through lots and lots about her program, and she's clearly a couple of years at least ahead of where we are at. It's quite nice to hear what Angela's saying, because I'm ticking off certain things on my sheet saying, oh brilliant, we do that, and there are other things that we are just going to be nicking. But what I'm going to be talking to you about is specifically what we're doing for Gatsby Benchmark 4. So I'm one of the vice principals at our academy, and I think that's important that I'm involved in careers, because so often you find that the careers doesn't perhaps get the kudos that it deserves within a school. And if you've got somebody on the senior leadership team who's championing it, that can make a huge difference to the careers program, and clearly that's what's happening at Angela's academy. So my name is on here as a vice principal, but actually on my right, off camera, I've got Louise Carroll, who's our careers leader, and she's really the brains behind this whole kind of enterprise here. I'm just the SLT link, really. So if I keep looking right, that's because I'm looking at Louise, who happens to find herself actually in this workshop. She's actually got round to us now. So a little bit of context, we're in Gorston, Great Yarmouth. We've got around 40% of our students who are pupil premium, which means that they have, by their very nature, quite low aspirations. So part of the work that we are doing within our academy is trying to heighten those aspirations, to get them thinking about what they want to be doing when they leave us, what they're going to be doing at college, and actually making them believe that anything is possible. That's a real issue at our academy. We've got generational kind of unemployment, we've got generational apathy towards education at our academy, and it's trying to break that cycle. We've been involved as almost an academies school. We've been involved in something called the Curriculum Innovation Project, and that's really an opportunity for us to look at all of our curriculum subjects and see where we can be tying knowledge and skills together. So for example, the example I keep giving is that in science and maths, you learn about graphs, but they probably learn about it in completely different ways, learn completely different ways of doing it. And so this Curriculum Innovation Project is about tying those skills and knowledge together. Let's try and teach it in the same way, around the same time in their learning, so that there's some joined up thinking within the curriculum. And really, we've piggybacked on that when it comes to how we're developing careers within our within our academy. And as I've said, we've now got our level 6 careers leader within the academy for the first time this year, which is fantastic. And she is going to be taking a massive role next year when she takes on the guidance interviews as well. This year we're using an outside company, but from next year she's going to be doing that, which is exciting her and freaking her out in equal measure, I think. So when we started looking a couple of years ago at the Gatsby benchmarks and we started rating ourselves against Compass Plus, we thought, oh yes, Gatsby benchmark 4, we are brilliant at this, no problem at all. We're going to give ourselves a nice solid 75%. We then spoke to our enterprise coordinator, who came in independently and rated us, and after that meeting we thought, do you know what, actually we're probably at an amazing 0% for our Gatsby benchmark 4. We thought that we'd embedded it within our curriculum areas, but we couldn't hand on heart say that we knew that that was happening within all of our subject areas. So our starting point really was to introduce the CDI framework to all of our curriculum leads and ask them to have a look at what they were doing within their curriculum areas and rate themselves against this framework. So in our first year of doing that, that allowed us to come up with a nice little document, which kind of in broad brushstrokes and a couple of bullet points for each subject, it allowed us to talk about, yes, what were they doing regarding their schemes of learning and careers, what activities were they doing. So frankly, it was a nice document for governors, it was a nice document for Ofsted if they were to come in, but did it really show us in any great detail what was happening? No, it didn't. So what we then started doing was really drilling down what Angela was speaking about in her presentation, drilling down into each subject area, into their schemes of learning, and looking at how they could map all of the activities that they were doing specifically to the CDI framework and to the Gatsby benchmarks. And this is kind of a little overview of that. So in drama, for example, these are the trips that they've identified. We then have a big spreadsheet where we map all of the trips against the Gatsby benchmarks. And if there are any holes that we think are not being hit, we will then go and talk to our curriculum areas and suggest that they perhaps do a trip to the theatre or go out to a local organisation. And that's also really good for us to have a look at an individual student and see if there's any areas of their skills that they want to be developing as well. So we have a questionnaire that we give to all of our students at the beginning of the year. They fill that in and it highlights all of the individual interests that they have, career areas that they're interested in, and then we map that into the careers education that we give them within our curriculum time, but also the opportunities within trips that we can offer them, and we will target them. We have insight into industry sessions that I'll talk about later, for example, and we'll target individual students and say, we've got someone coming in talking about engineering, we really think you need to be listening to that. So there's an overview of what ICT looks like, for example. So they've mapped all of their schemes of learning against the CDI framework there. And what we're finding actually is what's really important is giving dedicated time to our department areas to talk about this. So in the past, we found it was kind of a 10-minute thing bolted onto a CPD session, or it's something that they had to do within their normal department time. We've now given a real good chunk of time into our CPD calendar, really dedicated to careers. So they have that time to really develop their schemes of learning with careers in mind. Something that we've introduced this year are our employability skills, and we're absolutely going to be nicking Angela's idea of having a celebration event at the end. We have it for sports, we have it for academic subjects, but we don't have it for employability skills specifically, and we're absolutely going to start introducing that now. So thank you, Angela. It was worth me coming today just for that. So we got these developed. There's nothing kind of that's rocket science on there. They're all kind of quite generic. But what we've asked departments to do is to embed them within their schemes of learning and their day-to-day PowerPoints. So this is what we call our learning framework. This is the first slide that they use in all of their lessons. It includes things like the specialist language, the learning skills, the objectives, that kind of thing. But you'll see at the bottom, you've also got some employability skills there. So it's just our way of trying to embed that across the curriculum and keep it in the forefront of student and teachers' minds. And I'd love to say that every teacher's using that consistently, but I would be lying. But within our learning walks and our lesson observations, it's something that we pick up on. And we really want to encourage staff to share how they're using those, and we try to emphasize all of the good practice that we see rather than worrying about kind of the bad practice that we see, if that makes sense. Just like Angela with her PD program, we have something that we call Character and Culture. It's basically our PSHE program by a different name, because at our academy, the emphasis is really on building character and building that culture towards looking at post-16. You know, we are not the end for students. We are merely part of their journey into getting that career. And like Angela, we have that program that includes PSHE, PRE, CEIAG, and all of those other acronyms that we colour code across the year group with drop-down sessions. We're lucky in that we've dedicated 3 periods a fortnight in year 7, 8 and 9 to PSHE, and 2 a fortnight at Key Stage 4 to PSHE. Part of my role is curriculum development, so that's helped. So I've just put it in by stealth, really. But that's been really good. Last year we had form tutors delivering this in a dedicated 1-hour form session each year, but we found actually from the feedback that some form tutors were brilliant at delivering it and really bought into it, and other form tutors absolutely hated doing it. So what we've done this year is we've put it within our humanities team predominantly, so we know we've got some really strong teachers delivering this across our curriculum. So not only do we have departments delivering our career skills, we have dedicated lessons on that as well. So you'll see from this, for example, autumn 1, we have year 7 doing kind of their introduction into careers and enterprise skills. They do their pathways. We have them on an online system called Start, which is a great online platform which is completely free. And we've also introduced physical records of achievement this year into year 7 and 8, because what we found from experience is that students really valued using Start. They build up really lovely online profiles, but then as soon as they left the lessons that we were delivering it in, they never looked at it again. And their parents, when we asked them about it, knew nothing about it at all, even though we'd send out letters. So we thought having physical records of achievement in our year 7 and 8 form tutor groups, it keeps it really fresh in their mind. When we have our academic review meetings at the end of every year 6 after every unit, it's something that they can then look at their reports at, and they have a form that they put into their records of achievement. So it's again something that they're using physically every 6 weeks to remind them that it's there. And the hope is that when they leave in year 11, it'll be just like mine was when I left all those many years ago. It'll be a nice reminder of all of the things that they've achieved, all the certificates that they've managed to gather up. At the moment, our students get lovely certificates when we have our reward ceremonies, but we don't really know what they do with those certificates at the end of it. This is going to make them put it in a folder and have it at the end of their year 11. So the other 2 things I wanted to speak about in regard to Gatsby Benchmark 4 is that we have our business breakfast. It's something that we've grown over the last few years. And as Angela says, they're absolutely invaluable because they will spend money on you, they'll promote certain things, they'll sponsor certain events. And so we had them in asking what they really wanted from us. So for example, our enterprise skills was born from them saying they get lots of really well qualified students coming up to them, but with absolutely no common sense. And so this was our way of building in those employability skills and basically getting them in, as Angela said, getting them into our academy and then never letting them go. So we do have work experience in year 10, and we have pre-work experience workshops where they come and do mock interviews, for example, which has proven really, really popular. And again, once we've got them in, they find that they want to stay and help us with other things as well. And then we have our insight into industry sessions, which is really about local industry coming in and parents coming in and just speaking to our students within full time about their career journey. So the lessons that they really liked, the options that they took, what they then did at college, and how that led themselves into the industry that they find themselves in now. And we found that that's been really good. If I'm being honest, they started off with just lots of students wanting to come to those because it got them out of form. So what we've started doing is targeting them. So again, through the questionnaire that we give all of our students, if students are saying they're really interested in becoming a doctor, we will then make sure that they're there in our insight into industry session when we have that going on. And that's it really. Mark, back to you.
Steve, absolutely brilliant again. Thank you so much. And if Louise is still in the room as well, big thank you to her as well for being with that programme.
She's here, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Louise. And can everyone, again, if you can just go down to the bottom, if you can find reactions, and just clap your hands as well, we'll give you a virtual round of applause.